Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So we're back with some fitness content today. We're heading down to Ultraflex Rotherham. The Croatia vlogs are over. We got the whole crew in here today. There's Ryan, there's Keen, making his pre-workout. Making his pre-workout. So I have legs on the cards today. What are you training, boys? Big push, right? So we're going down now soon with Darren, little road trip, and we're just gonna maybe meet the lads for a coffee beforehand, potentially. Meet the other Irish crew for coffee beforehand. Always good to catch up with them. I am doing my very first, well, this is my first time doing this leg session. Today there has been one or two adjustments on it, but Ultraflex now have an Atlantis pivot press in, so I'm going to be able to still do that, which is good. I thought I had the Cybex today. I was telling that to Keen yesterday. I thought I had it and I was getting myself all hyped up for it, and then I actually had the leg press instead. But look, two of my favourite leg exercises anyway, so all is good. I am also currently on a Minicut at the moment, so today is day number 5. Weight was 104.85 this morning, down from 107.15, so decent rate lost so far, to be honest. Pretty happy with it. Lipolytics are back on cycle now again, so I'm hoping to probably get down to in and around 100 kilo. I may potentially be just below it, but I would like to be just above it at the end of this phase, and obviously in kind of better condition than I was in at the tail end of my last Minicut, as I have started a little bit leaner at the start of this Minicut than I did previously. So I'm going to do a Minicut full day of eating soon. Not today because we're just on the go and on the move, but I will get that up on the channel very soon, because I know people love to see those and love to see what I'm eating, even though, you know, it's not going to be very applicable for you anyway, because it's just individual to me. And I am probably eating like a lot of food. Well, what would be considered a lot of food to the majority of people, but it's not a lot of food for me, considering I have been, you know, at the tail end of a big push-up for quite some time. But I will post a full day of eating soon. My meals are fairly basic, you know. I think my meals are pretty much the exact same as they were the last time I probably did a full day of eating, about 8 months ago, maybe even longer. But look, I'm just going to post it up anyway, because I know those get the views. We're trying to boost the views a little bit on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm going to attempt to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. I think I've just broke past the 500 mark, but could be a little bit of a task now to get to 1,000. But this thing's kind of snowball, you know. I think the more subs you kind of get, the more likes. It's shit. It just kind of, you know, snowballs a little bit. I'm saying, like, the more likes, the more subscribers you get, it kind of snowballs a little, you know? More subs you get, compound interest, bro. Yeah, there's the Stockmaster over here. Yeah, Urkel Finance. But yeah, it's absolutely sweating today as well. I thought the kind of summer weather was over, to be honest. I'm kind of sick of it now. I wanted the cold. It was a nice cool morning this morning. I've been getting up doing cardio in the morning as well, just 20 minutes on the bike, which is actually lovely. I really like cardio every single morning. It kind of just gets you up, gets you out of the bed, and gets you moving straight away in the day. And I always find I'm much more productive when I kind of tick that box first thing. Kind of have, you know, more mental clarity when I sit down to do my work as well. So it has a lot of benefits. I like keeping it in the off season if I can. I remember at the tail end of my last Minicut, I think I kept the cardio in for a couple of weeks after that, but then it was just causing me too much fatigue for my kind of sessions that just wasn't worth the trade-off. So yeah, that's the intro and the update. I will catch up with you now in a little bit, likely when we are eating pre-workout, or maybe a couple of clips when we're on the way. We might do a little Q&A, a little car Q&A. Car karaoke, yeah. I should have put up like a story box last night, maybe like an anonymous Q&A, because there's going to be myself, Keen and Ryan and Dara in the car, so we could have answered a couple of questions just to kill the time, because it's like an hour and a half drive to Ultraflex and it's up over the Moors Mountains and stuff, so it's not the nicest drive. Not with Dallin driving, we're going to be there in like 15 minutes. So yeah, we'll catch up with you in a bit. Side effects.
Yes.
Do you have a son named Robin Cook, age 17?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cook. You better come down to the station house. Your son is dead.
Dead? How? He died of an overdose.
Yeah.
Do you have a son named Robin Cook, age 17?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cook. You better come down to the station house. Your son is dead.
Dead? How? He died of an overdose. died of an overdose.
It's stupid people trying to say sound smart.
Debug female physiology, that'd be a big deal.
So we have landed. I'm going to take you through the session I'm doing right now. We are starting off with some calves, 3 sets there. Then we've got single lying leg curl on the Atlantis, 2 sets. Pivot leg press, Atlantis as well, 2 sets. 1 set of a contralateral loaded Bulgarian split squat, and then 2 sets on adductor at the end. So Kuba's made some adjustments to my training program. I think the kind of exercise selection is like down here, but the volume is kind of up a little bit. So I did this for my chest and arm session the other day. Less exercises, more volume per exercise, and I actually really liked it. So we'll see how we got on with this now today. Yes, people, what is going on? So I thought I would run through a little bit of a voiceover today, just so I could kind of take you through a couple of tips and tricks to build massive fucking legs and massive calves, as you can see right here. No, that was a joke. My calves are far from massive, but I am trying, you know. I'm not blessed with those low calf inserts to have bulging calves, so I have to make do with what I have. But for all calf exercises I like to go pretty kind of high volume, and as you can see here, spend some time in the fully stretched and fully contracted position, right? So as I'm coming up, I'm pausing at the top there for 2 seconds, I come back down, I kind of let my kind of heels come as far down as I possibly can, hold that stretch, and then drive back up. So I believe I did 3 sets of about 15 to 20 reps here. I like to also start my leg exercises with calves, as when I do them at the end of my session, I find I never really give them the time they deserve, and I just kind of like to get them out of the way straight away, so I can kind of give them that 100% intensity. And when I do them first, they don't really affect the rest of my session, to be honest. So next up here, we are going to have a single leg lying hamstring curl. Now, I'm supposed to do the Atlantis curl, but they have no Atlantis in Ultraflex, so I just stuck with the prime one here, which is fine because I put it on set in 5 to make it a little bit more challenging in the length and range. So goal when you are doing a hamstring curl is always going to be to keep your hips as locked into the pad as you possibly can. So don't let those glutes kind of shoot up straight away. You want to curl your heel back towards your glutes, but also keep those hips glued into the pad, right? Again here, I'm trying to spend a little bit of time in that stretch at the bottom and kind of hold and squeeze my hamstring as much as possible at the top. I really like a single leg lying hamstring curl, as I find that since I kind of tore my hamstring slightly about 1.5 years ago, my right one has gotten a little bit weaker than my left. So this kind of helps me to balance out the kind of strength difference there. Next up, we have the Atlantis pivot press. So they have actually gotten this into Ultraflex now. Really like this leg press, probably my favorite leg press of all time. I thought I had actually achieved a PB on this, but in FLF we have 25 kilo plates. So I put 6 plates per side and a 15 on here, and I counted it as 25 kg plates. So made a bit of a fuck up here. I thought I was 4 reps up and I was like, Jesus, my strength has gone through the roof in this session. But you know, I miscounted, so I was actually 60 kilos down, but 4 reps up. But, you know, aside from that, I think my form here was pretty solid, again, with a leg press, right? And one of the biggest kind of things I've done to really grow my legs is focus on tempo. So you'll notice here that every single rep here is continuous. You know, my eccentrics are very, very consistent the whole way throughout the set. The only time I kind of break that momentum is at the very end, when I'm just taking a little bit of a pause to kind of grind out that very, very last rep. And if you do your leg press and all other leg exercises in this manner, I guarantee you your legs will absolutely blow up, right? So really, really good set on this. Did 15 to 20 for the back off, and that absolutely killed me off. Next up here, we have a contralateral loaded Bulgarian split squat. So if anybody knows me and has followed me for quite some time, you'll know the Bulgarian split squat is pretty much my all-time favorite leg exercise. Absolutely love them. I know a lot of my clients have a love-hate relationship with them, as they absolutely suck, but they're the one exercise that I find personally I feel every single fiber of my legs in, right? The contralateral Bulgarian loaded split squat that I'm doing here is just with one dumbbell on the opposite side of your leading leg. My first time ever doing this variation, but I actually really liked it. I found that I felt it a lot more in my kind of glute and adductor than in my quad with a normal kind of split squat, but definitely like this variation. Went a little bit conservative on the weight, so we'll run it up now in the future. Last exercise of the session here, we have the adductor. Again, this is supposed to be the prime adductor, but Ultraflex don't actually have one in at the moment. So I just used this plate loaded adductor. Not sure what brand it is, to be honest, but I really do like this, as you can have your legs kind of straight out. And this kind of takes any kind of bracing that you might do with your heels on a regular adductor out of it. And it's literally just pure adductor. So I actually had to go super light on this exercise, as I'm kind of dealing with a little niggle in my left adductor at the moment. So I find that going as easy as I possibly can on this and just going really, really high rep is probably the best I can kind of do at the moment. You'll notice as I dismount this here, I'm kind of in a little bit of pain. But anyway, guys, that is the leg session. Hope you enjoyed this voiceover, and I will catch up with you in a little bit. Yes guys, what is going on? So it is 2 days later. I'm just sitting down to edit that video now, and thought I would just record a little bit of an outro here now and just kind of wrap up how the first week of this Minicut has been for me so far, because it's Sunday evening now. I'm going to be checking in with Kuba this evening, sending him my feedback on this first week, and just kind of seeing what the plan of action for us now moving forward. So one of the biggest things I've actually struggled with this week has been my appetite, okay? So we dropped 1,000 calories straight off the bat, but I'm still kind of struggling to eat my meals this week, and this kind of isn't really a place where I want to be. If anything, I kind of want to be feeling the hunger a little bit, because the goal of this Minicut, right, is going to be to get as much body fat off as I possibly can, so that I'm in a good lean position to start the next, heavy push, which is going to be the last one before I enter into my competition prep. And, I'm going to need to be pushing for a long time, like 16 to 20 weeks of being in a surplus, trying to put on as much size as possible. And for 16 to 20 weeks, I want to have an appetite for the majority of that. And with how I'm kind of feeling at the moment, after another 3 weeks, I can't imagine my appetite is going to be super high. So I actually really want to be ravenous by the end of this phase, okay? So that I can kind of maintain that high appetite for as long as possible. So we'll see what Kuba says this evening after I check in with him. We may potentially drop food down, as I think calories are currently at 3,850 on my training days and like 3,400 maybe on my rest days. I do think I could probably push those down a little bit lower, and I would probably like to do that, as my body weight has moved this week and I do look a little bit tighter. But I really just want to get as much off as I possibly can. I absolutely love dieting. I love the challenge of it. I love getting up doing cardio every single morning, and I love kind of like embracing the suck in a way. So I kind of wants to be hungry, I want to be ravenous. I want to kind of experience that kind of, running on empty kind of feeling that you get when you're in a diet. So I would like to just get a little bit more aggressive with it over the next 3 weeks. But look, I will do whatever Kuba wants me to do. I trust his judgment 99 times out of 100. So we'll see what the feedback is like tomorrow. And in the next video, which is going to be, a Minicut full day of eating, as I kind of described at the start of this video, I'm probably going to run through any adjustments which have been made to food expenditure, or maybe even, the current stack we're on at the moment, even though I don't think there will be any changes to, drugs or lipolytics for the remainder of this Minicut, as the last time I did a Minicut, there wasn't, only clean just bumped up a little bit. But, the last time I did do a Minicut, I think my calories were at 3,600 and 3,300. And I dropped like 16 pounds in 4 weeks. So I got the job done. So like, I don't really think I need to make any adjustments for me to get lean and get into a good position. But I think that after another 3 weeks, my appetite won't be like where I want it to be. And I think appetite for me is going to be the most important factor moving into this next push-up, especially considering how much I struggled in the last push-up, to be honest. I feel like mentally now, I could fucking prep, like I'd be ready to go. I'd be like ready to just like put myself through that process, but I'm just not there physically yet. I just don't have the size yet. I just don't think if I was to prep now, I would be competitive enough. And I had my plan, I had my timeline, it's all set out for me. So I'm just gonna have to stick to it. You have to follow through, you have to commit yourself to the long-term process. And I think, that is super important if you are a bodybuilder. You can't always be just chopping and changing what you want to do. Make a timeline for yourself and just fucking execute, no matter how uncomfortable that it actually is, right? So hopefully you enjoyed that video, guys. I will keep you posted on any updates over the coming weeks, and potentially might throw a little bit of a physique update into the next video, depending on how I'm looking, as I'm still kind of fat at the moment. Well, like relatively fat for me, but stay tuned for that. Hopefully I should have the best physique I've ever had by the end of this Minicut process, and I think mentally that will probably put me back in a good position heading into the next push-up. But like, subscribe, drop a comment like always guys, and I will catch you in the next one.